Yes, I mean, it's really remarkable in many ways.
There's no question about it.
Yeah. Now, you're
What
saying that
have
all...
we psychologically achieved?
Yes, I mean, one point is to say none of this has affected us psychologically.
That's right.
Right. And the psychological question is more important than any of the others, because if the psychological question is not cleared up, the rest of it is dangerous.
Yes. They're quite right, dangerous. If we psychologically are limited, then whatever we do will be limited. And the technology will then be used by our limited...
Yes, the master is this limited psyche and not the rational structure of technology. Right? And in fact, technology then becomes a dangerous instrument. Now, so that is one point, that the psyche is at the core of it all. And if the psyche is not in order, then the rest is useless.
If the house is in order...
Yeah, and now the second question is, although we're saying that there are certain basic disorders in the psyche, or a lack of order, which is common to us all, and we may all have a potential for something else. But the second point is, are we all one, really, you see? That is, even though we are all similar, that doesn't say we're all the same. Right? We're all one.
No, we said in our consciousness, basically, we have the same ground on which we stand.
Yes. Well, that's, you see, from the fact, let's say, the human body is similar, it doesn't prove they're all the same.
Of course, right? Your body is different from mine.
Yes, we're in different places and different
course.
entities and so on. Now, but I think you're trying to say that the consciousness is not an entity which is individual.
That's right.
The body is an entity which has a certain individuality.
That's right. That all seems so
yeah,
clear.
It may be clear, but I think...
if your body
yeah.
is different from mine.
Yes.
I have a different name than you.
Yeah, well, we also have different, though similar material, it's different. We can't exchange, because the proteins in one body may not agree with those in the other. Now, many people feel that way about the mind, saying that there's a chemistry between people which may agree or disagree.
Well, but actually go deeper into the question. Consciousness is shared by all human beings.
Yes.
That's my whole point.
Yes. Now, the feeling is that the consciousness is individual and that it is communicate, as it were, that it is...
I think that's an illusion, because we are speaking to something that's not so.
Yes, well, and what do you want to say that there is one consciousness of mankind?
It's all one.
It's all one, and that's important, because whether it's many or one is a crucial question.
Yeah.
Now, it could be many which are then communicating and building up a larger unit. Or you're saying from the very beginning it's all one.
From the very beginning it's all one.
And the sense of separateness is an illusion, right?
And that's what I've said over and over again. That seems so logical saying. The other is insanity.
Well, yes, now people don't feel that, one doesn't immediately feel that the notion of separate existence is insane, because one extrapolates from the body to the mind. One says it's quite sensible to say my body is separate from yours, and inside my body is my mind.
And
now, are you saying the mind is not inside the body?
Now, that's quite a different question. Right. Let's finish with the other point.
Yeah.
If each one of us thinks that we're separate individuals psychically, we have done what we have done in the world is colossal mess.
Well, if we think we are separate when we are not separate, then it will clearly be a colossal mess.
That's what's happening. Each one thinks he has to do what he wants to do, fulfill himself. So he's struggling to be, he's struggling in his separateness to achieve peace, to achieve security, which that security and that peace is totally denied.
Yes, well, the reason it's denied is because there is no separation. You see, if there were really separation, it would be a rational thing to try to do. But,
actually.
But if we're trying to separate what is inseparable, the result will be chaos, right?
That's right.
Now, that's clear. But I think that it will not be clear to people immediately that the consciousness of mankind is one inseparable whole.
Yes, sir. Inseparable whole. Absolutely right.
And many questions will arise if you once even consider the notion, but I don't know if we have gone far enough into this yet, one question is, why do we think we are separate?
Why? Why do I think I'm separate? That's my conditioning.
Yes, but how did we ever adopt such a foolish conditioning?
From childhood, it's mine, my toy, not yours.
Yeah, but the first feeling you get is, I say it's mine because I feel I'm separate. You see,
yes,
now, one doesn't start out, see, it isn't clear how the mind, which was one, came to this illusion that it is all broken up into many pieces.
I think it's again the activity of thought. Thought, in its very nature, thought is divisive, fragmentary, and therefore I'm a fragment.
Yes, well, thought will create a sense of fragments. You see, you could see, for example, that once we decide to set up a nation, then we will be separate think we're separate from the other nation, and all sorts of things, consequences follow, which make the whole thing seem independently real, that you have all sorts of separate language and a separate laws and separate this, and you set up a boundary. And after a while, you see so much evidence of separation that you forget how it started, and you say that was there always, and we are merely proceeding from what was there always.
That's why I feel if once we grasp the nature of thought, the structure of thought, how thought operates, what is the source of thought, and therefore it's always limited. If we really see that, then...
Now, the source of thought is what? Is it memory?
Memory.
Yes.
Memory is a remembrance of things past, which is knowledge, and knowledge is the outcome of experience, and experience is always limited.
Yes, well, thought includes, of course, also the attempt to go forward, to use logic, to take into account discoveries and insights. You know.
As we were saying some time ago, thought is time.
Yes. Now, all right. So let's. Thought is time. Now, that requires more discussion too, because I see the first experience is to say time is there first, and thought is taking place in time. Right?
And
now, for example, if we say that movement is taking place, the body is moving, and this requires time, right?
To go from here to there needs time.
Yes.
To learn the language needs time.
Yes, to grow a plant needs time.
To grow the whole thing.
All right, now,
to paint a picture takes time.
Well, one will also say to think takes time. Right?
So we think in terms of time.
Yes, but let's see, the first point that one would tend to look at is to say, just as everything takes time, to think takes time, right? Now, you're saying something else, which is that thought is time.
Thought is time.
That is psychically speaking and psychologically speaking.
Of course.
Now, how do we understand that?
How do we understand what?
Thought is time. You see, it's not obvious.
Oh, yes. Would you say thought is movement and time is movement?
Okay, that's movement. Now, yes, well, these are, you see, time is a mysterious thing. People have argued about it. You know, we could say that time requires movement. I could understand that we cannot have time without movement, right?
Time is movement.
Time is movement. Now, but
no, time is not separate.
I don't say it's separate from movement, but you see, to say time is movement, you see, if we said time and movement are one.
Yes, I'm saying that.
Yes. Now, they cannot be separated, right?
No.
All right, because that seems fairly clear. Now, there's physical movement, which means physical time, right?
It's physical time.
There's the heartbeat and so on.
Hot and cold, and also dark and light,
the seasons,
sunset,
yes.
sunrise, all that.
Yes. Now, then we have the movement of thought. Now, that brings us into the question of the nature of thought.